All right. Good morning, guys. My hair's a mess. How we doing? Oh, let's go Rangers, baby. How's everyone doing this morning? Good morning. Back to business. That's right. I was just watching the um, top 10 ESPN, and they had the audacity to put number one as Gensel's goal, which was pretty good. I don't know if you guys saw that. Hold on one second. Is it rainy in Florida? No, not today. So, all right, guys. So, Friday we saw that little 4%. It's about a 4% day. So a nice day on the Nasdaq on Friday. A nice day for the market as a whole. After a really extended downside move. So, is this a type of move that gets me that excited? Not really. It's a little bit of a sympathy bounce, in my opinion. We have to still really focus on the technicals on the market. We still have to be weary of a potential dead cat bounce. There's nothing that it's doing just yet that makes me very confident that this continues. So that is my feeling coming into today. There's definitely levels above as resistance that we need to watch out for, levels that we need to be aware of. So today we're going to go over those levels. We're going to get an idea of what to expect this week, levels that we need to watch out for, and make sure we see break to actually see some actual upside. So nice day on Friday. Unfortunately, I missed a lot of that upside, and that's probably due to just a little bit of not that much confidence that it held up, but it did hold up nicely. Good day for the long term, right? Nice comeback day. Finally seeing some green in my long term portfolio, which felt nice. Not used to seeing that this year. That was really it for me. So let's go ahead and get started. If you guys want to press the like button early on, that'd be great, and then we can go ahead and start getting into what we need to look at today. So first off, futures is always economic earnings calendar. Earnings calendar I will pull up really quickly. We do have some on the docket here, some interesting ones to watch out for this week. So I'm going to pull that up real quick. So we can see right here, guys, here's the earnings calendar for this week. And we can see we do have some interesting ones. Tomorrow before open, we have Walmart, Home Depot, which are interesting. C Limited, JD, sort of Chinese names that aren't great. I didn't know OnCloud was, I believe that's OnCloud. Is that OnCloud? The shoe company? Maybe not. That looks just like their logo. But if it is, I did not know they were publicly traded. Let me see real quick. I'm going to look that up. OnCloud publicly traded? Yeah, OnCloud went public last year. I did not know that. Oh, I love their shoes, so I did not know they were a public company. So Home Depot, Walmart, very nice. We should watch out for those. Those are probably the most important of this week. We have Target before open Wednesday, Lowe's, another interesting one. Cisco, Kohl's, BJ's, not really interested in those. Ross, not interested. So I think the big ones here are Lowe's, Target, Walmart, and Home Depot. So retailers. And I think that's interesting because you also have retail sales data this week. So it's going to be a good watch on those retailers, consumer staples, consumer discretionary. That should be interesting this week with these earnings. So Target, Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's. Nice little, duo on Tuesday and duo on Wednesday I would watch out for, both in the pre-market. So that's earnings calendar. The economic calendar, which is strange that I didn't have. So if you pull up the Market Watch economic calendar, it does not say anything about Jerome Powell will be speaking at 2 o'clock on Tuesday. We do have retail sales on Tuesday, tomorrow pre-market, retail sales to watch out for, and then jobless claims on Thursday. But which I was a little bit confused over. I went to Forex Factory, and on their economic calendar, you have this little piece of information here at 2 o'clock on Tuesday. it says that Jerome Powell will be speaking at a Wall Street Journal's Future of Everything Festival. He'll be talking about inflation. So, yeah, I mean, this could be sort of moving. This could be sort of market moving, which is strangely enough not on the main economic calendar that I usually look at. So that's a little bit interesting and a little concerning. Maybe I need to be looking at a different economic calendar. But yeah, so 2 o'clock on Tuesday, you do have Jerome Powell speaking at a festival about inflation. So we'll see if I doubt that he says anything, anything different than what they already talked about. But, if he changes up the story here, that could be market moving. I don't think that he would do that. But yeah, let's watch out for that 2 o'clock on Tuesday. I'll make sure to remind you guys tomorrow. Okay? So that's that. Tesla, we'll look at a trading range that it is currently in. We'll look at NVIDIA and AMD. Both of these stocks are also in a trading range to watch out for today. Shopify is pushing up to a very important $420 level. Very big supply level. Apple, very nice support off that 138, and it has resistance up at 150. So we'll look at Apple. Google is holding the 100 SMA on the weekly chart. I want to show you guys this. Lulu, a stock that I'm very interested in. I keep on buying shares, and it is sitting at a very nice support level as well. And then finally, I want to show you guys 2 sectors that I think could hold up here. XLP and XLV, consumer staples and healthcare. Both holding some very interesting and very strong support levels, both the XLP and the XLV. That's healthcare, XLV, and consumer staples, XLP. I want to show you guys these 2 ETFs, give you an idea of what these sectors are doing, because I definitely think it could be something to watch. This is, obviously, it's Monday, so as I always say, Monday is a day of data collection for me more than anything. Get an idea of which sectors are strong, what's not. And sort of get ready for the rest of the week. So let's watch out for some of these names today. Let's get ready. Let's prepare for the week. Let's go ahead and do it. So guys, Nasdaq. There's really 2 levels that you need to watch out for today. And let's look at the daily chart real quick. We did a Sunday night live stream last night. Shout out to anyone that was there last night. But what we can sort of look at is we are trying to hold this channel high here back from, this is 12.2. If you guys remember that level, that's 12.2. And you can see these were previous resistance levels that turned into support. So for me, 12.2 is sort of a must hold today. I definitely do not want to see the market drop under 12.2. If it does, then I would definitely expect some more downside. This is right around 12.150, but that 12.2 seems to be the important level. 12.2 is the low of this candle, 12.207. So 12.2, 12.150, right in that area is a must hold in my opinion, or you're going to move back down into this range. So that's the first thing I'm watching. Now, if I go to the 4-hour chart, you guys can sort of see this pretty major resistance above. This level up here is going to be a very difficult level to get through. So this is a bunch of consolidation, 2 previous lows, and just a really important supply zone that I think is going to be very, very difficult to get into. So this is like the big watch this week. Can we see anything towards this 13,000 on the Nasdaq? This is going to be a level where I would be looking for a rejection. Now, I'll tell you why in just a second. So if we go to the daily chart, and we look at this 13,000 level, I posted this on my Instagram this morning, guys, but there is a ton of reason as to why I think the market rejects here if we do get a push, and I'll show you right now. So on the daily chart, the first thing you're looking at is a downtrend here on the Nasdaq, right? So you have this pretty clean downtrend on the Nasdaq since just about since the beginning of April. You've tested it once, you've tested it twice, and you're maybe testing it again here. Now, on top of the downtrend, behind that downtrend, you also have the 20 SMA, which is sloping at pretty much the exact same slope as the downtrend. You can see they meet right here at 13,000. Now, not only do they meet here at 13,000, you also have the previous support that's turning into resistance, right? So you have a downtrend, a 20 SMA, and a supply zone all matching right at 13,000. And to just put the cherry on top, you also have a 61.8 retracement sort of right there at 13,000 as well, from this swing high to this swing low. So in my opinion, this 13,000 has 4 reasons as to why a resistance or rejection would come in, and that is something I'm definitely being cautious of this week, guys. So 13,000, if I see 13,000 hit, I am not going to be an aggressive buyer, just because I will be very cautious of a 20 SMA, a downtrend, a previous resistance, a supply zone, and then also a 61.8 retracement from this swing high to this swing low. So that's going to be a tough level there, 13,000 on the Nasdaq. Now, what has to happen today for us to even have a chance of getting to that 13,000? What has to break today for us to even say, there's a chance of getting to that? I'll show you that right now. So here's the 30-minute chart, guys, and to even get a shot at that 13,000 today, we need to break last week's pivot highs. So if I zoom in here, this is the 30-minute chart. You guys can see right here, to even get a chance at this 13,000, guys, which is right here, that's that big level I was talking about, the red area, you need to break last week's highs. You have a previous high on Monday, you have a high on Tuesday, you have a high on Wednesday, and you have a rejection here in the pre-market. So this is very clear, it's very obvious. You're not getting up to that 13,000 unless you see a break of this 12,550. If you can't even break 12,550, then you're not getting a chance. You're not going to get a chance at 13, right? If you see something like this and we just reject again, then you're not even going to see this. So today, if you want to see upside, guys, this is what you want to see. If you're looking for upside, you want to see a break at 12.5, you want to see it turn into support, and then you want to see this thing curl back to 13. That's what you're looking for today, right? If you want a push to the upside, right? 12,550, you need that break. That is what you're looking for. If you're looking for a rejection, maybe you look for a push into the 12,550, starts to turn into resistance again, and then you play this thing back down, right? So that's what I'd look for today. It's all about the 12,550, last week's highs. That's all right here. And if you get that break, then I think you maybe see a push towards that 13. If you do not get that break today, then we could either continue to trade in this channel or we start to see this thing break down once again. So that's what I'd watch for, guys. It's pretty defined today. I got 12,550, 13,000 to the upside, and then I got the 12,2, 12,150 area to the downside that I think needs to hold here. You cannot see a break of Friday's lows. You guys can see that we turned previous support or previous resistance into support on Friday. I'll show it to you right here. Previous, right? You have support. It turned into resistance on Thursday. And what did it do on Friday? It turned into support again, right? So support, resistance, turning into support again, right? So that means that we do not want to see us give up this level again, right? If we give up this level here, you are moving to the downside. So right now, you got around a 12,150, 12,2. You got a 12,550 above. You're trading in a range. And then you got the 13,000. Yeah, I mean, you could call this an inverse head and shoulder, guys. But, I wouldn't get too excited about that because you don't, right? You could easily just do this, right? So you could see it. It's there, but it's not actionable, right? I don't think the inverse head and shoulder here is actionable. I don't think you just buy calls here because you say, inverse head and shoulder, right? So it's there. It's a data point for you to keep in your mind, to keep an idea of. But that doesn't mean that you buy calls before you see this break, right? Because you could easily get caught in this. You want to get caught in this? No. You want to wait for this. You want to wait for something like this, prove this to be support, then I'll buy calls into 13 maybe. But you're not going to be buying calls blindly because it's an inverse head and shoulder. And you could easily just see this. You do not want to be the person that gets caught in that. Because you'll look back at it and you'll say, wow, I'm an idiot. This was a really clear resistance level. Why am I buying calls when there's a resistance level right above? All right, so that's the Nasdaq, guys. Pretty well defined. Here on the ES, you have a very similar story. So here's the ES on the daily chart, and here's what I'll show you. Downtrend, right? 20 SMA right under it. You guys see the blue line? That's a 20 SMA, right? 20 SMA on the daily, downtrend, supply zone, 61.8 retracement. 4 confluences right here at 4140, right? You have right here, guys, at 4140, this red line that I have drawn out. You have a fib retracement of 61.8. You have a downtrend of since early April. You have a 20 SMA, and you have a major supply zone right at 4140. It would be pretty shocking for me to see us break through that level. And if we do, that could be a little bit of market shifting, in my opinion, right? If you actually get through these levels, if you see something like this and you break this downtrend, let's say you see this, and then you start to see this build, that would be, right, that would be a little bit of a shift, in my opinion, to the upside. But you need to see it first. You can't just, dream about it. We have to see that actually happen. So 20 SMA, downtrend, 61.8 fib, end supply, all at 4140, 4130. That's a very tough level on the ES. That's a must-watch level here. Now, same thing goes today as I had on the Nasdaq, right? You can see we have last week's highs around 40.50, 40.60. You can even drop back from here. You need to get through last week's highs to even get a chance at that 41.40, 41.30. If you can't even get above these week's highs, all right, if you see this again, all right, you're not even going to get a chance to see that level. So you need to watch out for this 40.50, 40.60 here. If you break above this level, this is last week's highs, then I could maybe see a push into that 41.30. But please remember, this is a very, very difficult level. Not only is it a short-term resistance, if I go to the 4-hour chart, you can clearly see, guys, right? Look at this 4-hour chart. Look at this level from back here. This is not going to be an easy level to just go right through, right? You're not going to just find a rocket ship right through this area. So watch out for this 41.30, 41.40. If you do get a push over this last week's highs, you first need that push over last week's highs. If you get that, then maybe you get your push into 41.30. But at that point, you got to be very cautious, right at that red area, right? All right, that's the ES. Hopefully that helps. Really pretty defined game plan here, just to watch out for these levels. Now, the Dow. So the Dow is sitting at a pretty important level as well. You guys can see right here, previous support. You're starting to turn it into resistance this morning, 32,200. If I go to the 30-minute chart, actually, you know what? Let me go 4-hour. Get some more time here. Look at what the Dow is doing right now. The Dow has previous support here, and it is turning it into resistance at 32,200. So we need to see if the Dow can regain 32,200 today, guys. That's really all I'll be watching. Can the Dow get back above 32,200, a previous support from back in February? Or is it going to do a classic little, right, break, retest, and rejection, right? Are we going to get that? Or are we going to get back above 32.2? That's what I would watch out for today, guys. Just watch that 32,200 level on the Dow. Okay. Russell starting to reject this previous resistance here. It's at 1,800. If I go to the 30-minute chart, you're going to see it very clearly. You can see it right here, guys. This is last week's highs. Where is it rejecting? It's rejecting last week's highs. So you have Monday, you have Tuesday, you have Wednesday, and you have Friday, all rejecting at the exact same level. So it's pretty obvious. What does the Russell need to do today to stay bullish? It needs to break above last week's highs. It needs to turn it into support. Very easy, very, very obvious. That's what you need to see. So really, I would say a clear of 1,800 would be what you'd want to see. A break of 18, a clear of it, and a retest, and then a hold at this level, turn it into support. Then maybe you get your next push. But you need to see 1,800 break and retest and hold before you feel any confidence that there's more upside here. A very clear rejection at last week's highs, once again, on the Russell. So watch out for 1,800 today. All right, guys, that's what I got for you on the futures. Pretty defined here. Nasdaq 12,550 must break today in the short term. And 40.50, 40.60 on the ES has to break as well, right here. 40.50, 40.60, last week's highs. And 12,550 12.6 area on the Nasdaq, last week's highs. These must break if you want to see any upside today. If you do not see this break, I don't think you're very strong. Okay, so that's the futures. Tesla. So a very defined trading range on Tesla today, which I actually sort of like. I want to see if I can get a move in either direction here. You guys can see a previous support, right? Previous support, previous support, previous support. What did it do? Turned into resistance, turned into resistance. That's very, very defined. That's very, very clean. So you can see we held support at 780, and look at where we rejected on Friday. We tried to push into pre-market, rejected. Tried to push into it intraday, rejected. So 780, 760. You can see the downside support, right? Look at this. Right? Resistance, support, support, support. So you have a very obvious channel, 20-point channel right here. Do you get the break of 760 or do you get the break of 780 today? Let's see. Or do we just trade sideways? Or do they just chop this thing sideways? That's what I'm looking for today. I'm looking to see, can I play either side of this channel? Which ways it want to go? Either way, I think there's going to be a large trading opportunity, in my opinion. So if I see something like this, right, then I'm playing this thing to the upside, up to 820. If I see this thing start to break down, start to resist, right, then I'm playing this thing back to 700. I'm looking for either direction of this channel. Which ways it want to go? That is that's one of my main watches today. So I'd watch that today, guys. 780, 760, 20-point range on Tesla. Which side does it want to break to? NVIDIA. Similar type of channel on NVIDIA. You guys can see we have this 180 level, and I'll go back and show you how important this actually is. So here's the 4-hour chart. You can see right here, 4-hour chart. What is it doing? Previous support right here. Boom, support, support, support. What did it do? It turned it into resistance. And if we break this down to the shorter term time frames again, we can see pretty clearly that this is now turning into resistance at 180. So what do you need NVIDIA to do? It needs to break 180. If it does not break 180, you could easily see this reject again and probably play back down to the bottom side of this channel, 168. 168, 180, about a 12-point range on NVIDIA. You don't trade it if it does this all day. You trade it if you see it starting to break either side of this range. So if it rejects, maybe down to 168. If the Nasdaq's very strong today and you get a little break and retest of 180, then maybe you can play this back up. But you need to watch out for 180, guys. You need to watch out for 180. This is where it rejected on Monday. This is where it rejected on Tuesday. This is where it rejected on Wednesday. This is where it rejected on Friday. So watch out for that rejection once again. And then support down at 168. That's NVIDIA, and AMD has the exact same chart. So if we go to AMD 4-hour chart, we can see very clear, very defined, right? You have previous support, into resistance, into resistance. So this is $100. You need to break over 100 before I would be bullish at all, guys. Trust me, you are not missing out on anything if you wait for this to actually confirm 100 as support. The people here, you should not be FOMOing in this tight of a margin. There is no reason to be worried about missing this move into 100. I mean, you're missing out on like 6 points. Who cares, right? Would you rather, it depends on your trading style, right? I personally would rather be the buyer here with higher probability than be the buyer here with low probability and then get to say, oh, well, I caught it at 95. Well, yeah, you caught it at 95, but you also bought it with a very questionable opportunity getting over 100, right? Maybe you were right here, right? Maybe you caught this before the 100 break. Maybe you were right, but you really exposed yourself to some pretty high risk getting in here. I'd rather be the person with the confirmation of 100 hold and then play and get, maybe 20 points to the upside if it does push. I'd rather be this person than, be the person that gets to boast about, getting in at the low. So that's just your trading style, whatever you like. I like the confirmation, right? I'd rather be the buyer here at the 100 retest, then be the buyer here at 94 while it's trading in a channel and you really don't know which way it's going to go. And you're just sort of taking a shot, throwing a dart at the wall and seeing if it sticks. So yeah, channel on AMD, not much to take action on right now, but I see the opportunity, right? You can see the 100 or the 84 break. Which way does it want to go? That's why it's Monday. That's why you got to sit on your hands a little bit and wait for some of these to build out. The last three stocks we just talked about are all in ranges, and it is best to wait to see which way it wants to go. NVIDIA, 20-point range, 180 to 168, about a 12-point range. AMD, 100 to 84, right, about a 16-point range. And Tesla, just about 780 to 760, about a 20-point range. So there's a lot of ranges to watch out for today. And just be ready for them, really. Wait to see which way it goes. Shopify, the next one I want to show you guys. This is an interesting chart as well. So Shopify's had a nice bounce off that 300, right? The 300 was sort of that level we were looking to see if it would go to. And now where is it sitting? Previous support, possibly into resistance here. This looks like a little bit of a stair step to me, right? You could see this, right? This, right? This is a pretty common sort of technical formation. You get previous support into resistance. Does that happen here? So, hourly chart, we can see, guys, this was a pretty important level on Shop where it flushed under 420. You can see all this consolidation right here. This is where it rejected and started to fall under. You're coming right back into it. So does this reject again? Is this potentially a fantastic short opportunity off 412, 420? It's sort of a 10-point range. It's not perfect. So you can see the lows of these candles is around 412, 410. But I would say I'd bring it up to I'd bring it all into this zone, 410, 420. I don't think it's going to be a perfect rejection. I think you sort of just watch this little zone here and see if you start to see weakness in here. If you start to see some weakness, then you probably could see this reject again. So that's what I'd watch on Shopify today, guys. Look to see if this 410, 420 level starts to reject previous support into resistance. That's another thing I'm watching today. Okay? Apple. So Apple held a very nice level on the daily chart. This was a very key area for Apple. So if I sort of take this back, you guys can see right here. If I take this back to what is this? This is 2020. You can see, I already went over NVIDIA. You can sort of go back and look at it if you'd like after the stream. So you can see resistance, support, and where did Apple hold? Look how perfect that is. Look where Apple held, guys, on Friday. Right there, on Thursday, Friday. Right there at 138, 140. That is a very important hold. Is this an area to buy shares on Apple? I would say so. I'm definitely a share buyer here towards this 138, 140. If there's ever a chance to buy a dip, I think here's a good shot. Even if it does go lower, this is at least a good place to start nibbling at some shares, in my opinion. Nice pullback, nice support level, 138, held very nicely. Now, the only thing I would say to watch out for is a rejection at 150. That's what I'm watching out for. So if I go to the 30-minute chart, actually, you know what? I got to go to the hourly here. I got to get more time. Where is it? There it is. Okay. So I would watch for a rejection of 150. That's the only thing I'd be concerned about right here. 150, even number, psychological number, right? Previous support. Watch out for us to push and reject that level, right? That would be my only concern. A push into 150 and a pretty nasty rejection. So watch out for 150, but a very nice hold of 138. I think a place to buy some shares if you're a long-term shareholder. I think you're getting a pretty good deal here around 138. But this is still on a downtrend, so I wouldn't say get crazy aggressive with Apple calls or anything like that. You're still in this very defined downtrend. You could still very easily reject 150. So still a lot of reasons to watch out to the downside. But if you got the long-term mentality, then I think you're getting a pretty decent pullback on Apple right now. So 150, that's the rejection I'd watch for. If you want to play puts, then watch out to see if it starts to reject off 150. That could be nice. Okay, I just want to share a very long-term look at Google right now because I'm really just sort of focusing on the long term of Google these days, because I just want to add shares of it. But, Google is holding this 2230 level. This is a big level. It's 100 SMA on the weekly chart. Now, remember, this is a weekly chart, so each candle is a week of price action. Very strong levels on the weekly chart, right? So 2230, if I go to the daily, I'll show you real quick why this level is important. You can see right here, if TOS lets me zoom in, which sometimes it does not. So you can see right here, guys, on Google, you had a previous double bottom support and you held it once again. You are really holding on to this level for dear life right now. So you're holding on to 2230. On top of that, you have a weekly chart 100 SMA right here. So is this where Google tries to find some buyers? This is somewhere that I'm watching on Google. I think it's an interesting level, again, for buying shares. You could easily see something like this, push back into 25 and reject. That is possible, right? Previous support into resistance, totally possible. But I think, again, just a nice area on Google to start maybe purchasing some shares, buying the dip here on Google. Even if it moves lower, you're dollar cost averaging into it. I don't think you see Google back to this level. As much as that's like sort of the level that looks sort of right, because there's a lot of stocks that are sort of here at this pre-COVID levels. But I think Google is one that will probably be a little bit more resilient. So let's see. Watching 100 SMA on Google on the weekly chart. That's a big level. See how it reacts off that. That's Google. Lululemon. So I'm a shareholder of Lulu. I just love their brand power more than anything. And I think this is a stock that's held up really well. So if we look at the weekly chart and we look at sort of how it's held up in this market, I mean, it's holding up pretty well, right? We're not seeing, this is not like a stock that's down 90%, strong retailer and continues to be. So I like this level here around 286, 285 on Lululemon. You can see support, 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 support. And again, last week, if we go to the daily chart, we can see again last week, we held this level once again. So if I go to, let me get a little bit more time. You guys can see right here. Again, last week, Lululemon is holding this 286 level like it's done how many times in the past? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times in the past we've held this 286. So watching to see what Lulu does here. We also have retail sales this week. We have Walmart reporting. We have Target reporting, Home Depot, Lowe's. So a lot of retailers. Could be a hot week for retailers. And if it is, I'm definitely watching Lulu off this 286. Yes, I am very obsessed with Lululemon as well. It's a very interesting company. I think they've done a fantastic, just absolutely incredible job of brand power, of marketing, because it's a cult. It really is. I mean, Lululemon is a cult, and I'm definitely part of it as well. So I spent like $300 at Lulu this weekend, and it was like I didn't even think about it. It was very strange. After paying, I was like, this is bad. But I used my M1. I used my M1 Finance credit card, and because of that, I get 10% back right into Lulu shares. So anything I spend off my M1 credit card, which is my long-term portfolio, if I spend it at a stock that I own, which is Lululemon, which I own Lululemon, I get 10% back into shares. So nice, very nice stuff. So that's Lulu, guys. I would watch 286. I'm a share buyer at these levels for sure. Yeah, I mean the margins have to be huge. Everything there is $100. So yeah, I think the company does well. They last quarter, I don't know if you guys remember, but they increased their 2022 guidance by like 50%. It's pretty insane. So yeah, I like Lulu. I'm watching it off 286. I would watch it as well. Nice opportunity there. All right, XLP, consumer staples. So guys, we have some earnings from the consumer staple names this week, which is why you got to be just a little bit cautious, right? If we go to XLP, we have Walmart in here, which is reporting earnings. So this is something to watch out for sure. But I am interested in XLP in this upside channel, holding the 100 SMA and 50 SMA here. We have seen it sort of, this, if you could sort of draw a deviation line, this would sort of be like your zero line, like right in the middle of the standard deviation from this little channel, right? So I am interested, does the XLP get a little pop here off the 100 SMA after this pullback? Do we start to see more upside on the XLP? If you look at Procter & Gamble, right? Procter & Gamble is a possibility to hold up here. Biggest stock in the XLP. If you look at a stock like Pepsi, this stock is holding up still. Look at Pepsi holding this 168 level. It is still holding up. Look at KO, still holding up, pretty much at all-time highs. And finally, Walmart holding this 146 level here into earnings. So XLP continues to be an outperforming sector. I would definitely watch this week, guys. XLP is definitely a watch this week. The other sector that I would keep my eyes on this week, guys, is the XLV. XLV is healthcare. You guys can see, look at this chart. Support, 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 support. Very nice support around the 125, 126 level on the XLV. If I go to the Analyze tab and I go to, where is it? Fundamentals? Yeah, Fundamentals. XLV, largest stocks in this sector, J&J, UNH, PFE, AbbVie. Those are the top four. So if I go P&G, not P&G, what was it? PFE, right? Pfizer's big in there. Hold on, why am I getting mixed up? Yeah, PFE, J&J, UNH, AbbVie. So PFE potentially holding up at this 45, right? You have UNH, which has had a nice pullback, right? You've had AbbVie, which has had a nice little pullback, needs to break over 154. And then you have, what was the last one? J&J. Do we already look at J&J? No. J&J trying to hold up at this 176 level. So I am watching, if I had to sort of look away from tech this week, I am watching both the XLP and the XLV sectors for opportunity. Healthcare and consumer staples. I want to see how those perform. If we look at the other sectors, XLF still very weak. Financials sort of continue to be very weak here. What else? That's really about it. I mean, you can look at like the XLK, but that's just tech. That's basically the Nasdaq. That's really the main ones. You can look at energy, XLE. I mean, we all know that XLE is very strong, right? XLE is continuing to hold up because of, right, oil prices. You can see oil/CL continues to hold as well. So another possible strong week for the energy sector as well, right? XLE, I think XLE is going to be, I think when 2022's over and done, I think that XLE will be probably the strongest sector of the year. I think we will see that. XLE being the strongest sector of 2022. Which, I mean, it already is, right? Since January, it's up. What is it up since January? I mean, it's up like 54%, 50% since the beginning of the year, energy. So it probably continues. So watch that. XLE, XLP, XLV. I like this XLV chart a lot. So I'd keep an eye on some healthcare names this week. This is a nice potential little triple bottom, quadruple bottom bounce. Maybe a little bit of a sympathy push here. And we'll bring the rest of the healthcare names with it. Okay. You guys said the Nasdaq's trying to push here a little bit. Yeah. A little push. But zoom out. We're still, just watch out for the 550 still. But yeah, a little push on the NQ. Let's see what the ES is doing. A little push on the ES. Still need to break up here down that 40, 40, 40, 50 area. So watch out for that. All right. So that's that. I'm going to go over the tickers that you guys want to look at now. I forgot to put the forgot to update the community tab. If you guys, let me quickly update that. If you guys want to put your tickers in there real quick. If you guys are a member of the live stream, make sure to go ahead and put your tickers in the Google Docs for us to go ahead and look at. And I will go ahead and, so let me go ahead and share that real quick. We'll go over some of your names. So community 0516 live stream. All right, guys, it's in there. So if you're a member of the live stream, go to your membership tab right here. and we'll go ahead and look at some of the tickers that you want to look at today. All right. Yeah, we can take a look at Amazon. I'm sure someone will put that on there anyway, so let's go ahead and look at Amazon. Let's look at all the big tech names. We might as well, right? Amazon, Microsoft. Let's look at that as well. So Amazon, yeah, let's get some more time here. Where's Amazon, right? Amazon's holding that, it's perfectly holding that 2050 level we talked about, right? Remember that? So really nice. We really called Amazon out very nicely. Congratulations, guys, if you caught any of this. Really happy with the way this worked out. So if we go and get some more time, you guys can see, where did we hold? I mean, just perfectly at this previous resistance turning into support, right? Look at the volume that came in last few weeks. Look at the volume that held up Amazon at that 2050 level. Where can it go now, right? That's the question. Can it really start to push back up? Because it fell so quickly. I mean, if the market is strong, you probably want to see a pushback towards 27, right? This previous low to sort of make up this just crazy dive to the downside. But that's a little bit advantageous in my opinion. If we sort of get a little bit closer, a little bit zoomed in, I would say if you do get a push, you probably get a push back towards this right here, entering this 2380, 2400, these pivot lows right here. If the Nasdaq does get a push, I'd say you watch out for this area here, guys, on Amazon. Right at this previous double bottom support, 1, 2, into resistance. So I would watch around this 2380, 2400 as a potential rejection point. If it gets above that, then you're watching here, right? 2500. If you get above the 25, then you're on your way to the 27, right? Here's your sort of stair-stepping levels to watch out for. You had a channel here, right? Right here you had a channel. You had a resistance and a support. If you come up into that support, look for the resistance. If you break through it, you're looking at the next level right around 25, right? So watch out for 24, 25, and then 27 on Amazon. Those are the levels I'd watch. Netflix is one from the Google Doc, so let's go ahead and look at that. Yeah, so Netflix, strong morning on that one. I would watch out for this area right here, 204, right, and then around this 227. If it gets above this 204, 205, could actually get a sort of a move on, but you can clearly see it needs to break that. There is a big shelf here, right? Very big shelf right here at this 203, 204. So you need to break above this level right here. Very clear that it needs to break that. If you do not break that, right, this could easily just do this again. So watch out for 204, 205 on Netflix. If you get above that move, right, you might have some free space. As you guys know, I'm in a December 400 call on Netflix. It was $100, and I just took my shot. But yeah, let's see. If it breaks 204, 205, I think you could get some push. This morning, it definitely has some juice behind it. Okay, Adobe, the next one in the Google Docs. Let's take a look at that. Let's get some more time here. Yeah, I mean that's all right, guys. I mean these. When I look at a chart like this, the first thing that I think of is it time to start buying some shares, right? Is this the moment? Because guys, if you think about this, Adobe is now priced at where it was pre the big C, right? Before the big C hit, this is where Adobe was trading. It was trading right here. So if you could reverse 2 years of time, right, you are getting Adobe at the exact same price it was 2 years ago. So if you think Adobe is a better company today, has more value into the future today than it did 2 years ago, then why are you not buying some Adobe shares, right? So if you're a believer of Adobe, if you like the stock, right, if you think if this is a stock you love, then yeah, I mean, you're getting prices back from 2020. This is pre-C. That's my first thought, right? That's my first thought. If you think Adobe is a company that continues into the future, which I'm pretty sure it's going to be, then yeah, I don't see the reason. I don't think it's going to be hard for me to justify seeing some of these stocks at these levels, the big C levels. It just wouldn't make sense logically. But you know, stock market sometimes isn't logic. But you know, is Adobe should it really be valued at what it was during the peak of the C virus panic? I don't know. I don't know much about Adobe, guys, fundamentally, so I'm not the right person to ask. Yeah, so John, I really don't know much about Adobe fundamentally. But if you like Adobe, if you like the fundamentals, if you like what it has to offer long term, then you're getting pre-C levels. As a trade, this is not as a trade, right? I'm not talking about short-term trades here. I'm talking about long-term investments. That's my first thought when I see a chart like this. Now, if you're talking about short-term trades, then I would be just watching pivot levels, right? Look, right here. You need to get Adobe over here, right? Adobe, you can see support, resistance, all in here. So Adobe needs to break 413, 414 to get any type of upside, or it's just going to be another stair-step rejection here. That's just short-term analysis. But long-term, I'm starting to look around, right, at companies that are at pre-C levels, because some of them probably don't deserve to be there. All right, now, what is now? ServiceNow. All right, let's see. Let's zoom out here. ServiceNow. I'm not really sure what ServiceNow does, but you have this little 450 level that it's trying to hold on to right here. You guys can see right here. Looks like we looked at this a long time ago. So it looks like you're trying to hold on to this 450 level. If I get more time, look right here. So you need to hold this on ServiceNow, right? Support, consolidation support right here. You cannot give up this level, right? 450, you cannot give up that level. If you give up that level, if this turns into resistance, right, this is ugly. So watch out for 450 on ServiceNow. That needs to hold. All right, guys. That's all you guys have in the Google Doc, so that's all I'm going to do. If you guys are a member, which there's more members than 3 of you, so I would recommend using this if you want. You pay for it. I'm here to show tickers to you. So if you're here, if you're a supporter of the channel, feel free to open it up. It only takes a few seconds. All right, guys, that's all I got for you. I hope you enjoyed the live stream. If you guys could press the like button, that would be fantastic. If we look at the Nasdaq real quick to sort of close this up, let's do a quick review of the Nasdaq, guys. Let's get ourselves ready for today. Put it in your brain. Do not look for upside until a break of 12,550. Do not get trapped in this type of move today, guys. Please do not get trapped in this. If you see a break of 550 and you see it start to hold, then yeah, there's your entry point for upside. But please do not get trapped in a 550 bull trap. Please. If you get a pullback at open, right? If you get a pullback at open, you also cannot be the person that gets into a bear trap, right? You don't want to be the bear trap either. The bear trap is a move to 10 at open, 12,100. This is your bear trap right here. So here's your bear trap move, straight down to the 12,100, right? That's what you got on Friday. I don't know if you guys remember, but we got a bear trap move Friday at open. So you guys can see, here's Friday at open. We moved straight down to that 110, and look at the bear trap that happened, right at previous support. So if you get a move into 110 today, guys, there's going to be some bears being cooked here as well, I think, right? So watch that. You guys can see 110, bear trap. So you had to watch both these levels. You got a bull trap at 550. You got a potential bear trap at 110. If it just wants to trade in between this range, you got to watch those levels. Okay? Same thing goes for the ES. You got a bull trap potentially at 40.40, 40.50, and you got a bear trap down at 39.75. So watch out for that as well. All right, guys. I hope you have a fantastic day. I hope you really focus on the levels. Stay calm. Don't trade of emotion. Don't just buy calls at open if the stock goes straight up 1 minute into open. That's something that amateurs do. I would stay away from doing that. Some people make money doing it. Great. But if you are someone that's trying to learn trading, if you're a new trader and you're trying to find real consistency, I can guarantee you are not going to find consistency by buying call options or put options 1 minute into market open. Wait for the market to find some type of range. like Matt Diamond does. He waits for a range to build and he trades the opening range break. He waits for a range, right? He's not just buying it open. So wait for something to build, find where you like the chart, find where you like your levels, and then trade off of them. Stay calm and open. It is Monday. We need to get data collection today. We need to stay relaxed and figure out what this market wants to do, and then we can strike. All right, guys, have a great day. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you guys in the live stream tomorrow. Peace out.